first to tell the audience about what is this GRI reporting about, and from the second lecture onwards to bring people who have done this in their companies to explain how they have gone about doing it, what are the issues involved, what do they expect in future. So with this in mind, we have invited, of course today Aditi will be talking to us on the overall, the GRI and the GRI framework. Tomorrow we have invited Mr. Shankar from Dr. Reddy's laboratory. Dr. Reddy's laboratory, as you know, is located in Hyderabad. It's a global pharma company, and the advantage for this company is their chairman and CEO is a highly sensitive person with respect to sustainability. So he has been personally driving this. So he will be talking about the experience of Dr. Reddy's laboratory about their GRI reporting. On the third day, that is on Wednesday, we will have Mr. Muthukrishnan, who is the Senior Vice President of Reliance Industries, who will be talking about Reliance Industries experience with GRI reporting. It's not easy for even such a company like Reliance, which has a lot of resources. They have certain hiccups. What are they? How did they come over? That's what we would be talking about. On the fourth day, we have Mr. Sanjeev Besbaruwa, who is the head of SHE and sustainability in ITC Limited. Now ITC has declared sustainability as their strategy. You know, it is a tobacco company. Okay, they have inherited tobacco as a business, but how they are moving out of this tobacco, how they have positioned themselves as a highly sustainable company all over the world. They have got many awards all over the world. That will come out in the speech of Besbaruwa. He will also explain to you what are the difficulties involved in their GRI reporting. The next day, that is on Friday, we have Dr. Yogendra Saxena, who has many years of experience in this field. He is also a member of GRI, one of the committees. He has enough experience in this area. He will be talking about the experience of Jubilant Organosis Limited. Jubilant is in drug discovery, and they are in chemicals, and they are in fertilizers and whatnot. The last day we will have a speech by Mr. D.B. Raju, who is the Executive Vice President of Larsen & Toubro, who has personally been involved in developing this GRI reporting. Aditi and I probably had a lot of interaction with him in the initial stages of involving people in L&T to come out with their first GRI report. And this year I think they have come out with one of the best reports around. He will explain as to how they have progressed from not so good report to one of the best reports around. So these are all the 6 days lectures have been organized. I am sure each one will bring in a different perspective, different issue, how they overcome, what they look forward to. So I don't think anybody can afford to miss them. These are all very rare occasions where people who are high in industry speak to the public on their own experiences. So I would request you to attend all the lectures. At the end of the 6th day probably, you will probably come to know, yes, this is an area where we have to work on, because there are many companies who can work on. Students will have a lot of opportunities to work on in this area. With this introduction, I would like to hand over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Dr. Aditi Haldar's topic for today is sustainability reporting, what and why. I now request Dr. Haldar to address the audience.
First of all, good evening to all of you. It's good to see almost like a full hall here with students and many people. I'm sure they are not students, but maybe the public at large coming and attending this public lecture series. I would like to thank IndSearch, especially Professor Joshi and Dr. Ramakrishnan and Ms. Manisha Chopre, who has been really thinking about doing this public lecture series based on the theme of sustainability reporting. So it's a good thing that this has happened now, and as Dr. Ramakrishnan mentioned that today is the first day of the public lecture series, and you are very fortunate that the institute could organize all these top level senior executives from important Indian companies to come and share their experiences. And there I'm sure that you will learn a lot beyond just the theoretical concept of sustainability reporting and what is GRI guidelines, which will be shared with you today, to look at the more practical approach of why did they get into sustainability reporting? What is the need? What is the value that a corporation based out of India doing business and a for-profit organization is getting out of developing such a sustainability report? With this, I would like to request all of you that you will have to pardon me and I'll have to come down there, because I would like to change my slides in the presentation myself. Is that okay with all of you? Yeah? Okay, now my presentation that I have will take almost like more than an hour. Yeah, so we are starting now at 7:25 and I have to like scare you that you will all have to stay back till 8:30 at least, you know. So is that okay with you? Or should it? Yeah? Okay. Now, I have actually divided my presentation into a couple of sections. One is to give you a little bit of background on corporate sustainability, then look at sustainability reporting, why and what of sustainability reporting, moving down to what is the reporting standards, why do we need a reporting standards, and then looking at who are all these stakeholder groups and different organizations using a sustainability report and its information. So that would be the division, and then I would end up by giving you some information about what is the future of sustainability reporting and why do we, as Indians, why do we need to actually, you know, take the leapfrog to look at sustainability reporting as an important element in our decision making process. So, as you can see from this slide, and I can relate to what Professor Joshi and Dr. Ramakrishnan mentioned, and the book that got launched about poverty alleviation, and you know, talking about bottom of the pyramid. This is all about, you know, Kofi Annan. He used to be the former UN Secretary General, and he said that in this age of globalization, where you know trust and partnership is the key, business organizations cannot be seen to be as problem creator. And what does that mean? That means that businesses are using resources, yeah, both natural, human, social, financial infrastructure, and then they are generating products and services for the society, and in that process they are also generating profit, right? Some people would like to term that as also as wealth, creation of wealth. And therefore, often you try to think that our gross domestic product of any country is measured through this business activity that one, you know, happens in any nation or any region. Therefore, in this kind of situation, Kofi Annan mentions that when there are so many millions of people having all the crises to meet the basic needs of life, business organizations cannot be a problem creator. Rather, they should be seen as a solution provider, and the solution providing should come in the form of partnership with governments to look at how do you deliver products and services which are not only affordable, which are not only having good quality, but also produced through a process of using less resources, optimizing the use of resources, decreasing the waste, and therefore looking at contributing to sustainable development. With this background, when United Nations kind of organization talk about this, they are really talking about how do you take the world forward. And therefore there will be all these run-of-the-mill business organization, but are you being the leader? And what do you need to become the leader? If you look at a business organization, there are different ways and different interaction levels. So if you look at this pyramid, at the base of the pyramid, it's the business and it's about market development, definitely, because you will have to look at where do you sell your products, how do you create your market. And therefore you will see that it's all about multi-farm clusters, grow local markets, infrastructure, distribution systems, so on. Let's look at the next level of their action. The next level of action is
can I, as an organization, provide developmental solutions? And therefore, developmental solutions is, providing infrastructure, providing housing, providing food, providing sanitation, energy, and so on. So all those become part of the developmental solutions, and then their next responsibility and their action is about employment and creating value chains. Therefore, you have to become a job provider also. You have to look at how do I create more employment as population growing, as the skilled people are also growing in our country. Therefore, can I become an employment generator? The next level is at trade and investment, to look at new markets, to look at how do I actually cater to the tax payments and so on. We can also play a very important role in setting standards. So business organizations, either individually, because if you're a very large organization, you have the economic authority and the power